All right, let's look at some ideas about resolution, bit depth, and color mode. And in the print module, what we're going to do is we're going to look at exporting raster art into Adobe Illustrator, and the idea is that the raster art is part of a printable document. So what we need to do is effectively control the resolution, make sure that it's formatted properly for print. I'm going to go into Photoshop. And this first exercise, what I've done here is I've got two images, the same image twice. One's scanned in at 72 dpi and one is scanned in at 300 dpi. And we're going to do a contrast and comparison of the two images, one set up for the print environment, one set up for the web environment. So the first thing you'll notice is that the images are upside down. So even though we're using Illustrator, you're going to have some sort of a, if you're creating printable documents or in many circumstances, you're going to have to import raster art into your vector application. You need to know the correct settings for doing that. So in other exercises, when we use raster art, it was as a template for a drawing, or it was raster art that was converted to vector, so the original quality of the image didn't matter. But now what we're doing is we're going to be taking a raster piece of artwork and embedding it inside of a printable document, like a brochure, a rec card, a business card, and we need to make sure that it is formatted properly. So the first thing we're going to do in Photoshop is we're going to flip the images right side up. So I'm going to go to Image, we're going to go to Image Rotation. I can either use 180 degrees, or I can use Flip Canvas Vertical, or I can click 90 degrees clockwise twice. I'm going to click Flip Canvas Vertical, flip that right side up. Then I'm going to go to Blue Dress 300 dpi, and I'm going to flip that right side up, Image Rotation, Flip Canvas Vertical. So now, one of the things I want you to do is I want you to look at the images and be able to begin to understand the difference in the size of these images. And we're going to do a couple of tests to figure out what the dimensions are for the image. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Window, and we're going to choose the Navigator. Well, what we want to do is we want to set both images at 100%. So this image is at 100%. We're going to go to the 72 dpi image, and we want that to be 100%. So now looking at it 100%, you can get an idea of the difference in the number of pixels inside of both of these images. Let's go to the 72 dpi image, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do a more concise test by going to Image and choosing Image Size, and we're going to look at the original dimensions, the pixel dimensions, and so on. So the image size is 514K. The pixel dimensions are 404 by 435 pixels, and it's set to 72 dpi. So this image is set up for the web environment. I'm going to click Cancel. I'm going to go to the 300 dpi image. I'm going to go do the same thing, image size, and you'll see here that this image is 9.8 megabytes. It's 1,836 pixels wide by 1,873 pixels high, and that the resolution is 300. So this image has been set up for a print environment because of the resolution and the pixel dimensions. So right now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the 72 dpi image. And one of the things I want you to understand is that when I have a raster image, the quality of that raster image is set when the image is captured. So I can take the resolution of the image down, but I can't increase the resolution. So I'm going to increase the resolution of this image so you can see what happens when an image is increased over its original resolution. It's something that you shouldn't do. I'm going to do it so you can see why. So we're going to go up to Image. We're going to go to Image Size, and I'm going to take the image and change this resolution to 300. I'm just going to type in 300 and click OK. And it's going to, now, interpolate the image. I'm going to set it to 100%. And then I want to see the two images side by side. So I'm going to go up to Window. I'm going to go to Arrange. I'm going to choose Tile All Vertically. So it's going to set the two images side by side. Now I'm going to use the Navigator, click into the Navigator, and click and make it where I can see both of the images side by side at 100%. And obviously you can see that the image on the left, the quality of the image has deteriorated greatly because of the fact that we took those original pixels and we stretched them over their original dimensions. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to take an image that's a low resolution and try to make it a high resolution image, it won't work, right? So I can take a high resolution image and make it a low resolution, but I can't take a low resolution image and make it a high resolution. There are some pieces of software that will assist in this. For instance, Alien Skin has something called blow up, but it is a workaround. It doesn't take the place of having a high quality image to begin with. So now I'm going to take the two images, go to Window, Arrange, and I'm going to send them back to Consolidate to Alt to Tabs. And I'm going to go to the 72 dpi image, and I'm going to close it. I'm going to click the X, close the image. It's going to ask if I can save changes. I'm going to say no. And I'm going to go to the Blue Dreader DPI image. And the first thing I want to do now is I want to set this up to export to print. So the first thing I'm going to do is crop it. So I can grab my crop tool over on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring those handles in, crop it over the image. And then I can either hit the commit button or hit enter on the keyboard, and I've successfully cropped the image. Now there's a number of other ways that I can crop the image. I'm going to undo the crop, Control Z. I can also grab my marquee selection tool, drag down a selected region, and go up to image and choose crop. That's another way to crop the image. Okay? As you see, it's cropping the image. Now, if I go to image and choose image size, I can resize the image using the image size box by either using pixels or a percent or inches, and I can resize the image. In this case, I don't want to resize the image. What I want to do is see how large the image will be for print. So if I go to inches and set the dimensions to inches, I can print this image at 5.6 by 5.6 inches. Now, I can print it smaller than that, but not larger than that. If I take the image and stretch it over its original dimensions, once again, I'm interpolating those pixels and I'm messing those pixels up, and I'm making a mess of things. So I want to make sure that I can scale the image down but not up. I want to make sure that when I scan the image or when I take the picture, I scan or take the photo at the highest pixel dimensions that I need for output. If I'm not sure, taking the highest resolution of the smartphone or the camera or the scan, and I can always take the pixel dimensions down, but I cannot increase the original pixel dimensions. So I can take this image and I can drop this into Illustrator. I'm going to click cancel. And what I want to do now is I want to convert it. So I want to go up to image, I want to go to mode, and I want to convert it from RGB to CMYK color. And the idea is that if I'm creating a printable document, then everything inside that document needs to be in CMYK color. So I want to make sure that everything that I import into my printable document is in CMYK color. I'm going to click OK. I've now converted the document to the CMYK color space. Now the next part of this puzzle is saving the file. So I can save this file as a TIFF, a JPEG, and I can even use the PSD document. Any one of those is a good option for importing my raster art into Adobe Illustrator or InDesign to be part of a printed document. Let's use the JPEG option first. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to choose Save As. I'm going to find the JPEG format option down here at the bottom. And I'm going to export this into a folder for my project. Let's see, I'll just put this on my desktop. I'll make a special folder for it. Call it Project Adobe Illustrator. And I'm going to open that folder and save my document. So when I click Save as a plain JPEG, it gives me the JPEG options. And for this, I really don't need to do anything fancy. I can just save it with the settings at hand. And I have successfully created a document that I can use in Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to click OK. Let's go back up and look at some of the other options. I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to choose Save As. I can also export this as a TIFF, that's tagged image file format. And once again, it's 300 DPI, it's 5.5 inches, and it's in CMYK color. I have to make sure all those things are correct. And then I'm going to save it as a TIFF. Click Save. When I use TIFF, I want to use the LZW compression. That's the best compression. Don't worry about pixel order, byte order, all that's fine. Just click OK. and I've exported this document as a TIFF. I can use TIFF, or I could use JPEG. I could also use the PSD. I could actually open the PSD in Illustrator and use it. And I can even have a PSD that has layers and import and export the document into Illustrator with the layers intact. If we have time, we'll go over that in a future exercise. So I could go to File, choose Save As, leave it as a PSD. Make sure that it is in CMYK mode. Make sure that it is 300 DPI. And then I can save it as a PSD document into there. Okay? So we're going to stop there.